morning. I'm host of Herndon Farmers Market here on Thursday at Herndon. We're trying to demonstrate some cooking for you, fresh vegetables and some pork chops. And here I have Stephanie with me, who is going to be doing the zucchini madeleine, and I'm going to do the pork chop. So let's get started.
All right.
Stephanie, are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Excellent. Okay, for the pork chop first, I'm going to show you how to actually marinate or spice your pork chop. I have a pork chop slice here, which is the cut off boneless, and I'm going to put my gloves on, and then I'm going to put the seasoning all around, which would be a combination of, if you can mix it in a bowl with a one teaspoon of garlic, 1 teaspoon of lemon pepper, 1 teaspoon of rosemary, 1 teaspoon of paprika, and usually you can add any other kind of spices or herbs that you like. As I said, rub your pork chop with the extra virgin olive oil, and then rub it over the pork chop as soon as I get my gloves on. And this way I have the pan. It has to be really hot in order to get the pork chop done properly. So the mixture of all those herbs and spices I have already mixed, and I'll take the pork chop, which already has the extra virgin olive oil rubbed on it, and get it all seasoned. And the best thing is usually to do that about 5 minutes ahead of time, which we have done. And I have about 3 pork chops already prepared and rubbed with the seasoning, and that way I will show you is like believe is already ready to grill. I can hear the jizzling of the grill, and I will keep it on the grill hot and let it actually cook for, I would say, it's the hotter the skillet, the better is for the pork chop. And we don't want to turn it over too quickly. We want to make sure that one side is really done properly before we turn it over. And right here, Stephanie is getting herself ready for her zucchini madeleine. Would you like to say something about what you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm actually making, it's what's called a summer medley, and it has some squash, zucchini, fresh tomatoes. There's some onions, bay leaf, and some dried basil, and all the produce comes fresh from this farmer's market, so it's really good. It tastes delicious, and it's a great side dish for meals like this for pork. And it's not only good, it's good for you. So I'm just prepping up the vegetables, and as soon as the pork chop is ready, I'm just going to throw it all together, let it cook, and it should be ready.
And as soon as my pork chops are done, I will turn them over, usually about 5-7 minutes at most, or if the grill is really hot and you think that perhaps is the temperature that you like to use to have the safety of the pork, usually they want the pork chop to be done about 145 Fahrenheit. And we have this little guide about how to actually use your meat temperature. I will show it to you later. Okay, I'm going to check and see. Yeah, I think it's pretty good grilled on one side, and I will probably see, yes, as you see, it's really nice and brown on one side, so I'm going to turn it over and do the same thing to the other two.
Smells good.
Well, the smell tells you always it's going to be a good dish.
Yes, it does.
Okay, we're going to let that really brown on the other side also. And as soon as browning is done, I would like to take it off and actually put it in the pan and cover it, and perhaps use the aluminum oil to wrap it in. That way it keeps it really nice and juicy. So Stephanie, I guess you're ready to do the zucchini?
Yeah, so I'm just cutting up the zucchini right now, and I'm cutting them about a 1/4 inch thick. And as soon as this is all cut up, I'm just going to chop up some tomatoes. And then whenever you're done with the pan, I'm just going to put it all in.
Okay. All right, we'll just go ahead and turn these things around a bit so it can get all the seasoning distributed to all the porks evenly. And we want to make sure really that pork chop is done properly.
All right.
All right, what else are you doing?
All right, so
Stephanie?
this is my last zucchini.
Uh-huh. So we have a yellow squash.
We got some yellow squash and then green zucchini and then 2 red tomatoes. And the tomatoes are really fresh during the season. They're really red and they have so much flavor, especially during this month. So get your tomatoes now.
Well, I believe my pork chops are from the farmers, McCalls farms, that was donated from Herndon Farm Market. So, and zucchinis for Stephanie was donated by
Jose.
two Jose's
Two
who are here, and they have the farm market. All the tomatoes, zucchinis, cucumbers, vegetables, anything, and I think they are fabulous. We have used them previously for some different recipes, and as soon as we are done, we get somebody to come and taste what we are cooking here. And I have one person who has raised their hand, and we are waiting so hard to have her taste what we have.
We'll get plenty of volunteers for that. All right. So I'm just chopping up the tomato, and then for the tomato, you want to make sure you're cutting it up all on the same cutting board because the juice is going to be coming out, but you want to save all that juice that comes from the tomato because you're going to pour it all in the pan, and that's what gives it that medley kind of texture. So make sure you have a cutting board for sure. And then you just want to cut off the ends, and you just want to cut it into kind of dice, but big chunks. It doesn't really matter because when you cook it up, it kind of wilts down. So just small, biteable sizes. All right. How's that coming along?
I think it's coming up. It seems to be that the pork chop is really nice and springy, but I want to make sure that it is done enough and not get too dry, because they tend to really dry very quickly.
Right.
What I'm going to do is usually take it off the grill and let it sit about 5 minutes, and that would be plenty enough for Stephanie to actually do her zucchini madeleine, right?
Yes,
And
perfect.
that way we get this thing done, and it sits about 5 minutes, and that will keep it nice and juicy. And then we have the side dish that will go with it, and I will dress up the plate for you. And we have our volunteers to come and taste it.
Yes.
Get a cover for it.
All right.
I'll use your cover and then give it back to you.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, you ready for your pan?
I'm almost ready. Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Okay.
Let me just finish this tomato and I should be ready. All right, a few more slices. And really, you can cut them however you would like. All right, the juice is coming out. I'm trying not to let it fall from the cutting board. There we go. All right,
Okay.
all ready.
All right. I'm going to use your top until you're done.
All right, so I'm just gonna slide over here. Up, and the tomato juice is slowly falling there. All right, so now we're gonna start cooking.
I'm going to go ahead and put this stuff away while you're doing that.
All right, perfect. All right, so first thing is we're gonna saute some onions. So I already prepped that, and I kept that on the side into this little bowl. And it calls for 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So really, just do it over the pan. There we go. And let me turn down the heat, because it doesn't have to be as hot for the onions. All right, there we are. All right, so we're gonna saute them until the onions are translucent. So that'll just take a few minutes. So we're just gonna, oh yeah, it's cooking. All right, so you just wanna keep stirring it just so it doesn't burn. Let it soak up the olive oil. And it starts to smell really good. People are probably gonna stop by and see what I'm making. All right, so that's just gonna be cooking for a little bit. I have the zucchini ready. I'm just gonna put it right there. And as soon as this is ready, I'm just gonna put the tomatoes, and it's gonna really, the juice is really gonna pour out and start to turn into liquid. All right, the sizzling went down. That's a good sign. All right, still mixing it. Okay.
Oh the onion, well, as soon as the onion starts sauteing,
I know, it smells
the smell
so good.
Everywhere.
And then
that's a good sign.
Yes, and your eyes start watering a little bit too.
That's a very good sign.
All right. Fun fact, if your eyes start watering from an onion, if you put a spoon in your mouth, I don't know if you noticed, if you've ever done that, you stop crying.
Oh my goodness. So by
Try that,
testing
it
and
worked.
knowing that it's done,
Yeah.
then put it in your mouth and start crying.
Yeah,
Then you know it's
exactly.
all done.
All right.
It does smell good.
It does. It's getting translucent pretty fast. I'll give it about 30 more seconds. There we go. All right. Okay, so now we're gonna put in the tomatoes. And this is where you gotta be really careful because the juice is gonna pour. So you wanna grab both sides of your cutting board and slowly pick it up.
And start praying.
And then you dump it all in. Oh, it's such a pretty red. There it is. So there's big chunks in there, and it's gonna wilt, the juice is gonna come out. And we have to let that cook for about 5 minutes. So it calls for a teaspoon of salt, and that's, so you put the salt on top, and that's for the water to come out, because when you put salt on any kind of vegetable or even fruit, the water comes out of the fruit or vegetable, and it gets kind of dry. So we want to put salt so it can be really liquid, or there can be like a liquid base on the bottom. So I'm going to get that. Oh. All right. So 1 teaspoon of salt. And we're just going to sprinkle it on top. We're going to give that a little stir. Oh, it's already getting really liquidy. All right, and then it calls for a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. So I'm going to get some pepper. All right. Whoop, too much pepper. There we go. And sprinkle it on top. Now give it a stir. All right, so this is supposed to cook maybe about 2 more minutes. And I'll crank up the heat just a little more. Okay. And then while you're stirring, you can kind of chop up the tomatoes using whatever you're mixing with, maybe to make it smaller bites. Kind of squeeze the juice out of it. Chop it up. There we go.
I can smell the aroma of tomato and onion all
Yes.
together is coming out.
Yes, and the red gets even brighter once you cook it too. It looks very pretty. Okay. This should be almost good. Chopping it up a little more.
I think I have your recipes over here.
All right, so now I'm gonna put in the zucchini. And I'm not gonna pour it in all at once. I'm just gonna do handfuls at a time. And kind of just toss it in there. And then once I put it in, you just want to stir it up so it can soak up the juices. And then add more. Oh, thank you. And you can really put as much zucchini as you want. I did 2 zucchinis and 2 squashes, but that's actually personal preference. If you like squash more, maybe add 3 squash, or if you like zucchini, you can add more of that as well. This is looking good. Yum.
I love zucchinis. I always add them to my stew.
Yes.
And I use them in salads.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Okay.
without cooking also.
Oh,
They
nice.
really have a nice texture.
Right.
And of course you cut them up for dips. For parties, you dip and a cut of vegetables, zucchini, you know.
Right.
And they're really a very good vegetable for
They are.
almost every kind of event.
Right, right.
And any kind of recipe, and whether it's raw or whether it's fresh, is always fantastic.
Yes.
Yeah, and really doesn't take too long.
Yeah,
to get
very
it
easy to
cooked.
cook with.
Yeah.
All right, so next I'm gonna add some basil, and this is dry basil, and the reason why you wanna use dry rather than fresh is because when you put it on top of it, the basil really sticks to the zucchini and it gives it more flavor rather than fresh. Basil kind of goes to the corner and you can't really taste, you can't really get that basil taste, so that's why you wanna use dry. And so, you wanna put half a tablespoon of dry basil, excuse me. And you can just do it right on top. Honestly, the more the better. I think it gives it a great flavor.
Oh yeah, I love basil. Basil actually is
Yeah.
one of my favorite herbs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so you want to sprinkle that on top. And the last thing we want to add is 1 bay leaf. So I believe it's right next to you. Oh yeah, right there.
Very nice.
Thank you. So you just want to add 1 leaf, and that gives it more flavor. Just toss it right in there. And then we're just going to stir it all up, making sure all the zucchini has basil and it's touching the bay leaf. Then you just want to kind of flip it over. Oop. All right, so once it's all mixed in, you just have to put a lid on it and let it kind of simmer for about 25-30 minutes whenever the zucchini really soaks up the juice. So you just put it on top and you wait. And the final dish.
And be patient, right?
Yeah.
So right now, I guess as long as this one is really covered and is cooking, our pork chop is already done and is perfect and nice and juicy, it seems to be. What I'm going to do is place it in the plate, and I'm going to cut and present for presentation. I'm going to add a couple of fresh mint leaves. So let me just go ahead and cut slices of the pork.
And then for the summer squash medley, you want to occasionally stir and flip it over so it's equally cooked on both sides. And kind of place them in the juice.
I've already cut one for sampling and tasting, and I would like to actually try to make sure I put the juice that is from the pork back onto the pork, and that will keep it really nice and juicy.
That's good.
And for presentation, we'll just chop some of these mints. And dress it up, and it's ready to be tasted as soon as I guess you have your zucchini
and I do.
Made.
So this is a final turnout of what the summer squash medley looks like. And right on top, you can present it with a bay leaf, and that's what we use to really flavor it up. And the juice goes on the bottom, and then you top it up with the cooked tomatoes, zucchini, and onions.
And they are
and that
very
is
much
what you get.
complementing each other as a whole dish. We will have someone to come up and taste what we made today, and we have Bill coming and tasting our sampling what we have for you. I will probably do a dishing of the pork, and I will give you some zucchini.
Okay.
Unless you want it together.
Yeah, a couple small for together.
Okay. They are very small, right?
Pork is delicious.
Oh, I'm glad you like it. I'm glad you like it, because we really were worried. Yes. And also, we have another lady over here.
Yay!
Bill, thank you for testing it. And
Thank you.
For your thumbs up.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Hello. And who do we have here?
Sandra Safford.
Sandra, this is Stephanie.
Hello, nice to meet you.
And I'm Turan. We made the pork and the zucchini and squash.
Okay.
And we'd like for you to try it if you don't mind.
All right.
I'll give you the zucchini. Okay, we probably will take more people to come. I should have cut a little smaller, probably.
The recipe?
I do
Yes,
have the
recipes
recipe.
are here. We have the recipes.
We have them. There's this. So this is the summer squash medley and grilled pork chop.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you all so much for joining me and Stephanie, and thank you for joining and watching the recipe for pork chops, which was donated by McCalls Farms, and the zucchinis from Jose. We love having you, and please do come and join us next Thursday at the Farmers Market in Herndon.
And the Herndon Farmers Markets begin at 8 o'clock to 12:30.
And we are delighted to have you and see you then. Thank you. Hello, I'm Turan Shadman, the host of Herndon Farmers Market. Here we have Becky with us, which she is the donator of the pork chops that we had for today's recipe. And McCalls Ferry farm is what they farm from and bring their meat to the Herndon farmers market. And I'd like to thank you very much for donating the pork chop and welcome you.
Oh, thank you.
And tell us about McCalls Ferry Farm.
Absolutely. So our farm is located in Airville, Pennsylvania, which is situated between York and Lancaster. It's on the banks of the Susquehanna River, so it has beautiful views for our cows. They have a wonderful life living on their pasture overlooking the river. We're a small family farm. My mom and my dad, my sister, my brother, and I, we all work together to bring beef and pork and eggs to Fairfax County.
Beef, pork, chicken, and you do also sell eggs?
We sell eggs, yeah.
How many acres of farm is McCalls farm?
We have about 350 acres. It's divided between pasture land, land for our buildings, and then the majority of it is used for crop farming. So we have corn crops, and it's a rotation, so it's not all the same.
From what I read about the farm, it used to be dairy farm, right? Can you give us some information as when it started to be that and then changing to cattle farm?
Well, I come from a historical dairy family, so my grandfather, when he was getting married, broke off from his family farm, which is just right up the road, and purchased this McCalls Ferry Farm to be his homestead with my grandmother. There they milked Guernsey cows for a very long time. Then my dad eventually took over. And when I was growing up, we actually changed to Holstein cows, so the traditional red and white cows that you would see. He decided to retire from dairy farming in around 2003, and it's when I was off in college, and my sister was getting ready to go to college too, and my brother was actually quite young, and he had other passions he wanted to pursue, and so we eventually sold our animals, and the farm became, I won't say dormant for a little while. We still did the crop farming, but that's all. About 3 years ago, my family, I actually moved back to the area. I had moved away. I had worked for the Air Force as an engineer for a long time. We moved back into the area and started talking about what's next, what can we do, because it became important for me to preserve the farm so that if my children decided that they wanted to be a part of what is becoming a very unique thing to be from a farming family anymore, that they could become a part of it. So we started talking about what we could do, and we decided to start raising beef cattle to sell at farmers markets.
I also read that your farm, not only the farm is historical, that you're connected and also family-owned Susquehanna riverboat. Tell us about that.
So the original family who owned our farm, the McCall family, in the 1700s owned a ferry that ferried across the Susquehanna River. And it's actually fabled, of course, that George Washington, of course, passed on the ferry. Like everybody has a George Washington story from that era, I'm sure. But the farmstead itself is very historical. We have barns and the original farmhouse that date back to the 1700s, over 250 years old. It's quite historical, and it's a lot of original pieces and parts to it. So.
Are you also still running that riverboat, or is no longer functioning?
No, bridges became more in vogue, in the turn of the century.
Also, from what I hear is that you're all trying to have the farm being very sustainable form of farming. Tell us about that.
So it's always been very important in our family to be ecologically conscious. My dad actually was, he had awarded many awards in the early 1990s for his being progressive in his conservation farming. So what we've tried to do is make sure that we don't ruin the land, because I want to be able to pass it on to my kids and my grandkids and hopefully my great-grandkids if they want to be a part of it. So we use sustainable farming practices, like we only keep so many animals on our farm so the pasture can regenerate over time. We do crop rotations, and also because we're on the banks of the Susquehanna River, any runoff fertilizer, manure, will pollute the river right directly from our farm. So we take measures to make sure that that doesn't happen.
Very good. You tell us about, let's say, Becky gets up in the morning, what time, and what do you do, or every member of the family in the farm? What is a routine lifestyle of you all?
So, you know, farming's an interesting business. Us doing it all together, the 5 of us, we all have normal 9-to-5 type of jobs, and you know, do the farm as I don't want to say a hobby because it's much more than that. It's our second jobs. It's our lifestyle.
Yes.
So my dad gets up in the morning before he goes to work, and he feeds the chickens and the calves, and you know, he's always on the phone bringing more animals into the farm. My mom helps out by maintaining all of our beef inventory. She always knows exactly what we have at all times, and making sure all the freezers are functioning and that everything stays, you know, high quality for our customers. And then I man the phones. So if I have a customer who needs something, they give me a call, and I make sure we get it at the farmers market.
So you do business also on a website?
We do private sales. So we also, in addition to coming to the farmers market and buying a pack of pork chops,
yes,
you can give us a call, and we have package deals. So you can buy 100 pounds of meat it's a really good discount. But the problem is usually you have to be able to store it.
Yes, we will provide the website on your farm on the site for people to be able to search you and find you and come and visit you or
Absolutely.
pick up the stuff. Now, how long has it been since you all joined Herndon Farmers Market?
This is our 3rd year.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and we really enjoy it. Herndon has a really neat, even though there's a lot of people who live here, a really like a small town type of feel to it, that we've grown to be friends with a lot of our customers, and it's really special. So we really enjoy this market.
So 3 years ago, and hopefully about many years to come, you will be joining us again.
We will. I think we're going to be here for a while. Eventually our goal is to take things back to the farm and to be able to operate and work out of the farm. But yeah, we've had a lot of great customers here in Northern Virginia, and we're gonna come back for a while.
That is fantastic. So your clientele basically is done through research on the website that you all have, and also you have a good customer relation with the Herndon
Yes.
Farmers Market. And also, do you all participate any other area farmers market?
We do. We are at the Oakmar Rec Center on Wednesday morning, which is also a Fairfax County run farmers market. And then we try to keep connections into Pennsylvania as well. So we're in Lidditz, Pennsylvania on Saturdays.
Well, I want to say thank you so very much again for donating the pork chops today.
It's our pleasure.
Everybody said it was a very nice cut, and it came out beautifully. And thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you again. My pleasure. Thank you so much for joining us. Please come again and visit us next time when we do another episode and recipe on Herndon Farmers Market. Thank you so much.